Okay, so quickly, let me give you guys a quick introduction of what I'm doing on this video. So what it's going to transfer is into getting better at analyzing raw data by mapping it into um, CTI, cyber threat intelligence. So what this is doing, it's gonna help us learn how to more likely get closer to the things that are already in our system that we find and see that can lead us to either looking for clues and track for things in terms of getting responses and quick responses. So this right here, I find it really interesting because for a threat analyst, this is something that will add a lot of value to your repertoire of weapons. Meaning learning how to use the MITRE ATT&CK will help you really find answers quickly, and not just from mapping the raw data that you found in your investigations inside of the system, but let's give you a quick um, hint of what we're doing. So, for example, let's say you're doing network analysis and you get into one of the host machines and you find out that this malware traces, you start seeing commands for, you know, initial access, let's say network scanning tools that you may have heard of or may have not, but you get in logs that are giving you the commands that were used. For example, Windows is a really good operating system, which gives you play-by-play good places where you can find forensics if any process were started or any commands were run. So there's ways to do that. But once we compile this information, we can then start putting together the pieces. But what if you need a tool that will more likely provide that one need to put something together? So you can find a set of commands that were unleashed through a script or maybe through a binary, and just that's all you got. You don't know how to address it or how to present it, because at the end of the day, once you get a ticket that has something in it, you have to more likely figure out or less equip that with the most information before you pass it on. So right here, I'm gonna run into an example. And by the way, the point of the video will be mapping raw data into the attack techniques, tactics, techniques, and sub techniques. So we're gonna use the MITRE ATT&CK. So we're gonna map the raw data into attack. So first of all, we'll go through the process of mapping raw data and then identifying and research behaviors. And then we'll translate behaviors to tactics, techniques, and sub-techniques. And then finally, raw data that will be able to be included into a narrative report. So let's learn how to use our raw data. All right, so quickly, I'm gonna introduce you to our ticket, the one we're gonna work with, and we'll quickly show you and let's go through it. So let's see, I think I'm on, yeah, this is our data. So what this is going to illustrate is that I found this commands in our system. Let's say well, this commands in our system, and you know we want to figure out more or less what this could be. I have an idea of what could it be, but if I don't know what this is, and I'm actually looking at these things, and the first thing I got is let's say the following commands were collected via Sysmon following uh pineapple rat execution on the beach head box. Okay, so this is a number of commands that look like there's some sort of network scanning. So ipconfig all and echo commands. So let's quickly check like what would it be on this case. Let's say we're examining ticket 473822 incident tangerine yellow. That's a date, it's a little outdated. So the description is command that xc commands via pineapple rat. So it's been identified. It's called pineapple rat. So the status is assigned. So if I find myself with this, and I'm not familiar with some of these things, so I can just go into MITRE. Let's bring over the share. So we are in MITRE, and let's get the search bar going. Enterprise. So enterprise and mitigations. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check what's um related to this command, and I already have a hit. Um, what is this? There's a group that use it in an APT. So config org command altogether network configurations. Let's go into what could possibly be APT32 uses it. Let's see. Let's go in and see. Plus a little closer. Find it. Okay, so right here, I know something is ipconfig all is related to this network discovery. So let's see if we can get a hit on this discovery. Hits. 1016. Well, 1016 look like is the technique related to it. Because over here I can tell let's say enterprise 1016 system network configuration discovery. So the system upon checking discovers network configuration details using the ARP-A, MBT, MBTS stat and netconfig, ipconfig, and route commands, as well as MBT scan. Let me see. In phase. So I'm looking for something else that relates to it. So let's just take note on this because that's enterprise 1016 network configuration discovery. That's one we have. And I think, and let me see, let me look into enterprise 1049 system network connection discovery. APT1 use it. All right, so let me take a note on this. So ipconfig goes into network enterprise discovery. Right here, let me see if I can let me do it in a different folder. No. Okay, so we have our first hint is well, not our first hint, it's our first finding. It's a discovery technique. APT. Okay, let's look into 1049 also. Let me check something. So APT1. Let's use our search bar and say technique 1049, which goes, okay, discovery again. System service discovery, system time discovery, lateral movement. That's 1049. So also I know something about this. So our 1016 definitely qualify as discovery, but also this is a execution command and scripting. So let's see if it's something a sub technique of something makes sense to this. Because there's also execution. So let's just take a note and say execution. Let me see IP. Maybe 1016. I pick discovery. Any IP config. IP. IP config. Not dominant. IP config. So far, all 10. Um, config. Config. 98. Okay, so we have our 1016. I'm I'm trying to figure out is this let me see on the desktop. No, that's too a little bit advanced. 1016 network configuration discovery, use IP config all. Then enterprise 1049 system network connection discovery. That's also another one. So let's check. See what was use it. And no sub techniques in this. Okay, so config all APT32 use it as a command to gather the IP addresses from a system. So I mean it's obvious that it's an IP config situation. So the enterprise 1049 system network discovery. Let's see where it goes. T1049. No, 1049. 1049 is again goes into discovery. Okay, so adversaries may attempt to get listing of network connections to or from the compromised systems. They are currently assessing or from remote systems by querying for information over the network. So it's two techniques that I find familiar right here, and it's 1049 is one of them, and yeah, it's definitely part of it, and it's a tactic of discovery. So let's just say 1049. Let's copy this. And let's keep taking notes. So 1016 and 1049 will be our two techniques for this one. So next we're going to look into ARP. We're going to look into ARP. Quickly, let's just say ARP A, and let's go for it. ARP A. And let's look into the techniques. ARP minus A. Mitigations for, let me see, because it's discovery. P116. For the ARP can be used to display ARP. All right, so 10.1.16 again, network configuration discovery. And I have a doubt on this, and I quickly addressed it. Because all these are command encrypting techniques. All these are command and scripting techniques. And I'll say that if we're gonna do the network discovery and we're doing infiltration on a system, we're not doing it ourselves. Obviously, it's either a binary doing an execution or some sort of script. So I will look into a scripting interpreters commands. Quickly, let me see. Script and interpreter and see execution. Execution. Now, yeah. So that's a mobile Unix shell and there's a command and scripting 59 that the script interpreter to execute commands and scripting interpreter adversaries may abuse commands and script interpreter to execute command and script or binaries, just like I said it. So this has a million subtechniques. So let me see if there's anything close to what we're speaking right here. So based on your system, this is the technique that's gonna go into it. So for right now, I'm just going into the general fact that I think they're using an interpreter for command and scripting. So 1059 is part of the two that we also found. So let's just quickly take a note on what we have. So as you can tell, what I'm doing over here is I have a note, and let's transfer the chair up to this way. So for IP config, I have a definition right here, and enterprise T16. Let's say just say T16, and then 1049 was the other one. Let's say ID And let me also the execution 1059 T 1059 T 1059. Oh yeah, because I marked it. Keep on my different color. So let me undo this quickly. For that one, two, okay, and then I don't need that. All right, that's done. Okay, so let's do it. T network discovery, 1016 system configuration, T 1059, which is execution. Write that down next to it. Execution. Execution. All right, so that one also goes up there because it's part of the affairs. I saw then next we have echo. So somebody's trying to parse out username and domain name. So we're gonna do these two separate. So I'm gonna go for username domain and see what's coming. So let's get back to the share the miter and hit share. So what's over here? User. So you can see some hits. So username, so APT41 use it. So what I'm looking for is the technique what it's being used. So after this enterprise 1016 system network configuration discovery APT41 collected MAC addresses from victims machines that during use number of commands and then the user domain. So for discovery. So now we looking into discovery, which is 10 discovering network connection discovery, which is also related to 1049 on one of them. So let's go. I'll say it's also most of these commands are executed, so we'll include the execution also. But let's see what Echo has to offer with the entire command. For now, we know 1049 it's part of it. So let's also try something else on this. So maybe get anything from. So what does Echo has as a technique? Echo data, so fire and discovery technique, fire and directory discovery techniques, which is 1083. Fire and discovery technique. So let's say if this technique has any sub-techniques involving echo. This is an entire script right here. Elevation control. Because echo could be used for a lot of things. So we got fire and level discovers. Let's see if it has any sub techniques listed. Oh no, unfortunately, so let's not express it. And what is this to? Neither a hit on this. Let's go one by one. Username. So when anybody is of 1032, look like something 1032, so close to multi-factor authentication. Privilege escalation. That's related. Let's check out what 1032. And then 1110 brute force, 1036, 15, 1123 external remote service. There's a lot of high level techniques. That's why I would recommend for anyone that's trying to get better to come take a look at this. This is what you scramble for greatness. Plus intrusion prevention, well, we're not on multi-factor authentication right here, so our hit has to do more with username and username. Echo, echo, mitigation and configuration, also system owner user discovery technique username. So we got 1033, which is discovery, and it's also on execution. So quickly, so you can follow me. I'm just going to Evernote to write the note. So right here we got the user echo user domain. So this one might be a split because this user domain also under discovery, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to just log into what I'm finding that those close ST is technique. So this right here could benefit us whenever we're doing any type of journaling and moving into writing a report. So you can point at these techniques and or either you can just type it out and express what they are. So it's also related to 1059 execution. So let me see, 333 is it still discovery? User discovery. And it's a subject name. Let me see. Discovery. Let's just say user discovery. User is discovery. All right, so that's for that. And then it's execution. Moving on to, let's just say user domain. We might get another sub technique that relate closer to this, to what this is. So user domain. So system network configuration discovery technique. ATT&CK. ATT&CK. So does that not anything to do with discovery? Let me see. IP config, internet connection discovery. But this time we are looking more into system network connections, system owner user discovery, system service, system time, lateral movement, system time discovery, visualization sandbox, lateral movement collection, system user discovery. Let me check on this one. Oh, that's step 33. User discovery. So that's more likely more direct to both. But yeah, that's just that system user discovery. There was an interesting part when I first got it. Let me check because it is close to it actually has for discovery. They use this technique is being used and it's just the same, but 1016. What's the definition? It's really the point. Compromise. And, CMD CP for this community. So right, and it's local. Okay. For discovery, doing C predators, right, and it's local and advanced IP scanner, target network, Callisto run the IP config command to obtain. So 1016 is part of this, which is discovery. 1016 also. P 1016. 1016 is discovery. So take note, guys, because I'm taking notes for everything. So then we're going to check, and then you can compare your answers to mine when you find it. So task. So let me bring the camera around. So our next one is task list /B. So that's right here, task list, Copy paste that. I think the last time around I forgot to bring the camera. Um, so here we come. Let's go for this is what I did. I just went and applied the user domain, which was the previous one. Pardon me for and then I did username percent, which came out to a different technique. And then you know, if you can see, you know, there's other things that there's more options to load up more information. So right here, load more, you can get more a little more of the content that will relate to what you're doing. Okay, so let's get back to this how I found it. Let's get back to this technique, task list. So task list, they say adversary fully infect the target and attempts to specify actions. Makes sense. Examples of commands that can be used to obtain security software information are net, reg, query. All right, so this will look into the type of firewall structure that, you know, maybe the defense has. So this technique is definitely a sub technique. So we'll do the technique itself plus system information discovery. So this one um is that. Yeah, task list is 15.1a dot 00, and it's only fair that these techniques are getting more, they're getting closer to the sub techniques layers, you know. So get that definition and we'll get a little more insight on this because it's tactic discovery. This is so discovery because they're trying to get information on your firewalls or other, like, let's say proxies or things inside your network. Discovery. So let's go into SC query. And then this time, let's bring over the camera around over this side. Um, bear with me. All right, so let's see how many hits we get on this. SC query. Okay, any software technique, window registry data. Query about computers listed. Let's see, it's network query. Okay, so it's still it's a sub techniques. Let's say on software domain trust from Active Directory Enterprise TO69.002 permission group discovery. domain group at find and can enumerate domain groups. So let's say 10, 18 remote system discovery at find and the ability to query active directory for computers. Um, so it looks like it's a system service discovery. Um, and of course, execution. So let me see system service discovery. So as you can tell, is Active Directory. So let's see system service. Discovery is 1007 enterprise. So quickly, no sub techniques. That's list. And then you get the command right here, sc query on. So it's ID 1007 1007 discovery. And back to the notes, guys. And then the share, and then it's on let's see if I think this is just discovery. A lot of discovery on this. And I mean, you can put all this together written on a script and to execute, and also the execution. So we can do this execution technique to everything because at the end of the day, it's execution. That's something I learned here by doing the exercise. And let's just define the next one. Let's just organize this a little bit because everything is different. It's being written off different. But it's on network discovery for now. Let me undo this. And then we'll go through all of them quickly. System info. So what does system info say? So let's get this going. And back around the camera. Miter. When we say system info is 1082. System info is 1082, and it'll be our execution to minus 15 interpreter. 1082. And normal sub techniques. 1082. And over here, anything on execution. So now you know more or less if you're following along that group. Let's bring the camera back around. So this one, admin domains. Let's slow down more. That group. So I see that group has a lot of hits and domain. So we may be able to just find this. Let's see, group admin exchange, enterprise 1057, process discovery. Domain account, so technique, net, net group. For net group, domain and admins. Okay, we have it on the admin. Let's go like this right here. Domain discovery. I'm gonna just write that down and come back with me. Plus T, far report, T, T, 1082, 1087, domain, account, and still execution on here and this without this execution, execution, net user, net user, close, local account. So we got domain, email. Oh, well, oh, so adversaries may attempt to get listing local system account. There's so local accounts is about the same technique. So commands such as net user, net local group, and exit password, listing. So it's that one. Local group, local group. But just to get out of doubts. Net user. Display the room. Net user domain. Net user. 8702 has used Windows 10 secretly to bypass for privilege escalation. Well, dot enterprise. So the dots also they're net user domain. So right here I will say 87.2 account discovery. Up to is also being used. And the previous one was, well, they can be the same. But this one has a twist to it, so there's also execution. Um, so I think I have this one twice. So right here, I already went through that groups, domain. But we have domain controllers. They are very similar. Once we went to domain admins, so let's get to domain controllers. So domain controllers, computers. So when we speaking of a domain controller, it's the controller itself. We're not talking about groups on the domain or anything like that. But we're looking for techniques. So we're going to get to the closest group domain controllers. Yeah, group domain controllers. Yeah, group domain controllers. Okay, so in this technique, I developed two computers to detect a system of remote systems. You know, they using the command user only. And I know this group AB339 because we literally did a little study on that. A remote system control. So technique, use domain ID, use enterprise, account discovery, domain user spider house. As only also using at this time they're looking for the domain controllers. There we go, guys. Let's go. So let's just focus on domain controller. This is it's a whole different technique. Domain controllers. Yeah, and this is linking to our show. This is right here is 1018. Let's go for it. It's T1018. And it's what is it? Discovery. So write your notes. Because this one goes into discovery. It's mostly discovery and execution. Discovery. And then following along with the fact that it was executed on command and scripting. So that's what we're gonna put in our report. Our next is show all profile. So Nash, we got Nash again. Task BB. So let's go for Nash. So if you missed it, this is the command that we do. We're going from Nash, net sh, add firewall, show all profiles. Very intensive. Here. And, all right, so let's continue with this one. So this command I copy pasted. Let me just confirm with you guys that this one doesn't appear as anything, but that's what we we got in the system. So next add firewall, show all profile or profiles, doesn't have any hits. And what I would do with this, I'm gonna edit it a little bit to see what I get. Let's use our show next firewall at firewall. So that's related. Next firewall, now we got the complete command showing but no technique yet. All right, so fire. Okay, okay. So it's a Windows victim. Let's say traffic. So equals some next at firewall. Forward at rule name equals terminal server. There action. This looks like a entire script over here. This is the local port. This is Active Directory 3389, and then enterprise 1070 indicator removal. Clear command history. This is not what I think they're doing with. So, and software discovery, that's more realistic. So uses commands such as Nikon. This command such as Nest firewall to discover local firewall settings. This also can be used. So that let's go and related to this one 1518 1518 security software discovery subject discovery. Yeah, this more makes sense. Makes more sense. And everything started looking like a rat now. Um, tactic discovery. 1016. Oh no. Yeah, 18. System network discovery. Um, it's a little bit of confusion here. Security software discovery. That makes sense for a firewall. And then system information discovery, system network configuration discovery. What technique is this? 1016. IP config. And this is not a joke because this is how they scan your system. All right, so We use 1016.1 or just that. Let me see what we're going to do. Maybe just the discovery technique, discovery system network configuration, I guess, because it's and also the script. So we'll do the top because this one the sub technique is internet discovery. Um, but the system network configuration discovery is 1016. So if you tune in late, this is what we've been doing right here. So go 1016. Or again with execution, which will be aligned behind everything. And this one is display. So net stat minus AON. So we come back over here and we'll just go for it. I mean, I know that this can only be a script for network discovery, but I mean, I don't know if there's any way that you can just put all of that together. And but I mean, we got the hit. It's a wrap. Um, a remote access tool. All right, so right here, 1049. So let's say I can go back enterprise 1049 network discovery, Pinera use net, something like that. But it's on 1033. That's like 1039, 1039. Because of that, 1049. Every 1049 though, and I'll say execution. So we'll bring you back over here with me, coming to the back. So that's 1049 and 1049 also. 1059 with execution, copy paste. We just brought all of that along. But 1049 and 1059. So as you can tell, that's the end of the script right on. And this one is done. So that's the first script. Let's just say our first ticket and it's being resolved. So let's say it's related to the pineapple rat commands via the X. So that's all the information. So now I can write a report on this narrative and be more explicit about my findings, because I found it. And we could get a broader picture of what's going on here with all the information that we collected, because now we know how these things act. And you know get more examples. If you are open comer, this is the way to do it, I think. And quickly, let's go into the next ticket. We resolve our first ticket. By the way, it's high priority because now we know that we have something in our system that we need to catch and maybe start looking at the potential places where it has already been infected and what needs to be either segmented, isolated, or removed from the system in order to be examined for forensics, and also what could be restored and for continuing operations. So that's the whole point, and then that's how the game goes. You got your guys and your team that they're going to assist you, and we all work together as a team. So it'll be somebody looking into this for further work, but they're gonna follow the playbook on this. So I will definitely isolate the system, will segment it, and then for further news, maybe not be anything, but the commands are a little suspicious. So we'll keep going. So now we got ticket 47 3845. Um, so let's do it. So first of all, it starts with it looks like it's a continuation of things that have found on this. So I mean, quickly, what I would do, I would check on these hashes for the software, and I'm gonna deviate a little bit from this just to confirm using our databases for CTI, cyber threat intelligence. We'll go to URL house, URL scan .io. This is not a URL. So let's just go for virus total, which is a little easier to identify these hashes. So I got these hashes. So usually when I'm running I see instruments are compromised, I like to check one or two places where this is clean. Let's get back. And we'll bring the camera out to virus total. The last one was clean. The MD5 came out clean. Shot 256. And maybe we don't get any hits on this, but clean. Let me see. Malware Lazar. Lazar. Just give me Bridges. Bridges. All right, so 256. They work on. They welcome, and no hits. Let's try for the MD5 over here because it's a different database. And never nothing. We'll run the shot 1 for integrity and dirtiness. All right, so I did not have anything that, but the system also already gave me a hit on what's going on with that pineapple. All right, so no luck on this. We'll keep going. So we have winpool.x. That's a file name. file name. So how we go about this? Because now we have an entire thing. Um, going on. So let me check who copy paste on this. Excuse me. Nothing. All right, so let's continue. I'm sorry, I got some allergies. All right, so let's resume with this. Moving on. Um, so we have a name of a file, and I wouldn't, let's see, no hits. Um, Not known. Dot X. What a dot X does. Um, so execution mitigations on dot X documents. This is an executable. TA. Let's go out more. The execution guardrails, techniques, execution guardrails. Um, execution guardrails, techniques. Let's keep scrolling. Um, so let me see if we can get any execution techniques. That's what they are. Malicious link, sub technique, enterprise, very specific. Execute image, sub technique, malicious image, advertising, adversaries, user execution, malicious bias, sub technique. Guess what? This makes sense to me. Nevertheless, it's a lot. Um, a script. Windows, loading a Trojan, um, when using, they also give also virtual files. Also examples. Another one we issue is to okay,
Windows command shows up the book. Um, so when we're doing files like that, we also masquerading things. So you're avoiding that's evasion though. Let me see evasion, evasion, evasions, events, evasion technique. So avoid being detected, evasion, 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 tactic, um, X file, Windows file, and electric dimensionals. So we'll say we'll go with the main technique, expectation from the first iteration, enterprise, constellation, subtly, let's see, so what's the name of um, first iteration, masquerading the first emotion, masquerading. I will leave that one for later. Let's keep moving on. So nodes, protocols basis default encoded over HTTP. They wrap beacons every 30 seconds, requesting a command. So far, the following commands are being discovered and analyzed. Upload file, file server client. So let's say upload file. Uh, come on, yeah, we need guys. Let's just go together. And if you really want to do the exercise, I will leave links with the information for this exercise. So when a file was uploaded, the technique used enterprise to transfer ATT and upload files. So T15 ingress to upload files to read this machine. Um, enterprise 27 authenticate files for information. So take 1105, 1105. Let's go with 1105. 1105. Let's go on some numbers. More series. Um, so I think let's say 1105 is the technique. So upload download on 1105, upload on based on defense duration, the defense duration. Go to the deep hardship. This compare with compare material. For download file, upload files and download files. Is it the same? Okay, my computer is overheating a little, so let me check for something quickly. Let me bring this right back. Because I think the site was a little slow. It was stuck there for a second. I kept and asked for better. I just not really understand. So when downloads happen, download file, six. And this is related to so I just do 1115 also because that in the mobile order master command download file plus C2. So 1105, it's not 1115 and then discovery 1557 process discovery mobile. So these two are what I thought they were. Let's go for the same shell command. And don't get bored, guys. We almost at the end of this. Shell command. interpreter command is scripting on 1059 scripting interpreter Windows command shell. So we are assuming that yeah um and then we copy paste and do the same process. Put that in here and 1059 03 is our command. What we could do is let me see. As a sub technique and we get more execution. 59 execution, and then we do it on the Windows 03 execution. Execution. So by now, from all this repetition, I'm pretty sure you got the. So this one is PowerShell. So it'll be PowerShell commands. So right there, now we know we're on 1059, which is the Windows. So PowerShell. So just to confirm, if we're not sure, because it says P shell, and get more data if you're unsure. So it's a be a PowerShell. So it's PowerShell. So all you gotta do is come back. It's like a abbreviation of what we have. So PowerShell is technique 1059 online. That put the data over here and it goes into execution to execution a sec path is sec path. we keep looking at this. I'm with you guys. I'm just going deeper. Let's look at the other part of, let's say, created a process, because that was more of an injection. Yeah, API, DLL, library, some sub techniques. Modify registry silence, can create, delete, or modify, create, delete, or modify. So if we go into the description of this execute programs, given the create process. So this one is closer. So that right here, so enterprise. So look, it took an effort, like mixing up. This one wasn't easy. Um, so there's a whole description out there. Let me see if we can go into the main technique and if it has more specific techniques. Maybe. No, it's just on 1116 execution on API. Let me come back and look at the share and then project execution, the creation, the HBO create process. Sleep becomes sleep. So let's see if we got any hits on that. Let's see if looks like sleep is related to 14 and 14. So what we do next, so this is let's say soundbox virtualization. Now this is taking us to part sleep timer or loops. So check, system check, activity. We'll use the main technique, which is defense evasion. Defense evasion. Defense evasion. Yeah. Evasion. Oh, there you are. So sandbox execution artifacts for. Okay, so we have after the executor sandbox, this is traffic moderated, so we're not gonna get particular with these addresses, but we have copy command, copy C, come right in, guys. Angelo, you can grab it. So copy command, copy directory. So look, what's happening is this is copying this file parsed into the Windows system .32, and that'll create a registry key. So registry keys are added. So let me see that technique of copying. What is copying directory? Have to copy. Copy directory. And so when you copy a there, copy there, there. So technique. OS credential dumping. Copy file. Directory. Copy of same. File copy. This is more like a file parse into a directory. So when that occurs, so was it copying literally a file into they said it's an evasion technique. So let me see something. I can just put in this the entire command. We'll copy paste the entire command, and that's what we're here for. So we get nothing. We'll give an example of what it is, and nothing comes up. All right. Registry data, copy of the same. But it's not data. Something is being forced into something. So when you copy something to a directory, They want it to look like defense eventual technique copy. So we'll do copy of, there's no sub techniques on these access token manipulation, system privilege. Um, so obviously they call it defense evaluation technique. Is a use command and scripting interpreter to search for copy information or BS4K code files technique. Um, far down spear phishing. So I would say this thing is being copied to masquerade something, so it's defense. Let's go with masquerading, and I will take charge on that because that was the only hint I got. So let's just write that down for the report. So they copy this because it was a defense evasion. So we're going to put down the technique P1036, and let's delete this. Registry key added. We got an entire thing right here on key edge ranger. So let's just go with the easier part. So when you add a registry key, what technique is enterprise or log on AutoStar or boot or log on AutoStar keys. Well, I'm just talking about I was talking about loading, so loading the key, registry keys added, run keys, start off folder, command and scripting interpreter Windows command. When you have window registry keys with persistent boot, log on auto start. Okay, so registry run keys. Let's see adding something. If adding so HCP enterprise boot or log on auto start execution run keys startup folder variants add of misery have added run registry key. So this is our technique 15 dot dot 00 dot 1, and let's see boot or log on startup folder. Well, that's our technique for the registry keys. So we're just gonna do it over here and let's see if it comes up. No relation. It's a sub technique. Right, so if we go down to just this, the more we got registry key run startup folder. That's the one that makes sense and is persistent previous escalation. The minute they're doing that, is that. So we'll cover that with it. And as we can tell, we just got to the final one. And as I share, this is the registry key added, and that was the technique .001, and then it's tactic persistent privilege escalation. So we have no more action to go on this one, right? Because that was obviously the end. But some takeaways on these. What this does is that it helps us get closer to our, reports and fill in the gaps and the emptiness that we might encounter during an investigation. Is a very useful tool, and it's open source for everyone to use it. In my previous video, I gave you a more general view of no sub techniques, was most using like tactics. But on this one, I took it further for the analysis, because this could relate to also reverse engineering. It could give a great report, because patching the system will help with this thing. So if you have a problem, you can start by letting them know this was the commands that were run in your system, and you can start with this. This is a great tool, and I hope when I post this video and I put out the resources, you guys follow along, because it'll help you upper your game up, um couple levels up. So follow through, keep going, and don't get discouraged at all. Just know that if this is your passion and what you're trying to do, you can do it with these kind of things. Thank you very much.